وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of Hajj in Perspective with myself, Muhammad Tim Humble. We're talking about the lessons that we can take from the Hajj, and our lesson for today is reliance in Allah and trust in Him. We know that the origins of the Hajj lie with Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah Azza wa Jal revealed to him, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ, announced to the people to perform the Hajj. And we know that many of the rites of the Hajj, including going between Safa and Marwa, the stoning of the Jamarat, and the sacrifice on the day of Eid, all of them relate to actions that happened to the Prophet Ibrahim and his family, alayhi salatu wassalam. Bearing this in mind, there are certain things in this story of the origins of the Hajj which indicate to us the importance of trust and reliance upon Allah, and indeed this is very true of the modern day Hajj that we perform as well. If we look at the story of the Kaaba and of Ibrahim alayhi salam leaving his family, his wife and his son in the valley of Makkah without any plantation, without any food, without any means for water. And so Hajar began to run between the mountains of Safa and Marwa looking for water. She eventually found that water with her foot, the water of Zamzam, which we all drink as part of the Hajj and Umrah rituals, and indeed outside of those. But I just want us to reflect upon the reliance and trust of those people, Ibrahim alayhi salam and his wife. Ibrahim, for leaving his family in a place where there was seemingly no hope, where there was seemingly no water, where there was seemingly no food, so that they could perform the prayer. As Ibrahim is mentioned as having said in the Quran that, "Oh my Lord, I have allowed my family, or I have told my family to live in a valley without any greenery. At your sacred house, oh my Lord, so that they can perform the prayer." So his reasoning for doing so was that Allah Azza wa Jal commanded him. And it's narrated that his wife alayhi salam, that she said that, "Has Allah commanded you to do this?" And when he said yes, she remained patient and she stayed, knowing that Allah would only command for her that which was good. Look at the reliance and the trust that they had upon Allah. Look at all of the difficulties we go through in our lives, and we're so quick to leave that trust, so quick to abandon that reliance. So many times we become in a state of despair, we come in a state of worry and stress when bad things happen. And yet these were people who were so patient and so willing to sacrifice and so willing to rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal says, "And put your trust in Allah. Indeed, Allah loves those people who put their trust in Him." Allah loves those people who put their trust in Him. Why? Because it demonstrates our need of Allah. It demonstrates our problems, and that we are poor, and that we are needy, and that we are in difficulty, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our only way out. Reliance on Allah Azza wa Jal that we are trying to build in our lives, that is demonstrated through the story that we mentioned, and that we're so in need of implementing in our daily lives, has more examples that relate to the Hajj as well. From these examples is the story of the sacrifice. And indeed Ibrahim said to his son alayhi salam that, "I see myself in a dream slaughtering you, sacrificing you. So tell me what you think." He said, "Oh my father, do what you have been commanded to do. You will find me, insha'Allah, to be among the patient." And so when he laid him down on his side, Allah Azza wa Jal called to Ibrahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that, it's called out to Ibrahim that the truth, the dream has come true, and that Allah Azza wa Jal sent in place of the sacrifice of Ismail, the ram, which is the basis for the slaughter that we perform on the day of Eid, both in the Hajj and outside of the Hajj. So this just shows us how the events of the Hajj are related to trust and reliance in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But more than that, if we look to the modern Hajj that we perform, we see that there are many elements within it that also relate to trust and reliance in Allah Azza wa Jal. From these elements is that you travel very far without knowing sometimes exactly how things are going to be, without knowing necessarily a lot about the group that you're traveling with, and without knowing whether you will be able to complete the Hajj or not. But during the Hajj, from time to time, from place to place, you're demonstrating your trust and your reliance in Allah Azza wa Jal, demonstrating your need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, demonstrating that you are in a state of difficulty, you're in a state of poverty, and you're showing that you have that need of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Ghani. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who is rich and free of all need. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is as-Samad, the one who everyone needs him and he needs nobody. And so this is shown even in that trip to the Hajj. Throughout the days of the Hajj, the heat, the difficulty, the crowds, not knowing whether you'll reach your place in time, sometimes the adverse things that happen that you have to be patient about, that we've talked about in previous episodes. All of this leads to your trust and your reliance in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just how we said that Hajj is a training program, and that it's a training program for your worship, it's a training program for your belief, and it's a training program for your faith, and it's a training program for your manners and for your character. One of the major aspects that covers all of those three things is your reliance and your trust in Allah. And that is because reliance and trust in Allah cover or are a part of your belief, that you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are also a part of your worship, because it is from the greatest forms of worship of the heart, the actions of the heart that you do, that you put your trust and reliance in Allah Azza wa Jal, and it develops your character, and it makes you a stronger person who's able to endure the hardships of worldly life far better than before, because of this training program that has developed your patience and has developed your trust and your reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course we have to mention that just because we have this trust and reliance in Allah doesn't mean that we don't try our best and take precaution. It doesn't mean that we turn up to the Hajj without any ticket or without any place to stay and we say that I'm putting my trust in Allah, because this is not tawakkul. This is not putting your trust in Allah. Putting your trust in Allah is when you do your best with what Allah has given you, and then you rely upon Allah Azza wa Jal to help you in that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you have done your best, if you have azm, you have your determination, you've done your action with determination, فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ, then put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not a matter of us sitting back and saying, I'm going to come without any resources, I'm going to come without any food, without any water, without any place to stay. That's not reliance in Allah Azza wa Jal. Not in your life and not in the Hajj. Reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is when you demonstrate that you are doing your best with everything that Allah has given you, that you've tried to cover all of the eventualities as much as you can, and that in the end you realize that all of that effort is nothing more than an attempt from you, and it will not be successful unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps you in that, unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you in that, and so you put your trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. And that really is a key part of your training, as we said, that covers so many aspects of our religious life. And it's needed not only during the Hajj but also outside of the Hajj, that you are a person who doesn't become between two extremes, or who doesn't go to either of two extremes. Not the extreme of sitting down and saying if Allah wanted to help me, He would help me. Neither the extreme of worrying about every little tiny thing that might or might not happen, to to the point where sometimes you might not even do a good deed because you're so worried about the potential consequences of that. Rather, we sit in the middle. We do our best with what Allah has given us, and we trust in Allah and rely in Him. This is the example of Ibrahim. It is the example of Hajar and Ismail. It is the example of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, and the trust and the reliance that we try to learn from that, we try to copy from that and take from that, so that we can become stronger and we can become better Muslims, insha'Allah ta'ala. In the penultimate episode, insha'Allah ta'ala, we're going to be talking about submission to Allah Azza wa Jal, and how we need to make the entire Hajj, and indeed our entire life, a life of complete submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's coming up insha'Allah in the next episode, and until then I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر يأتين من كل فج عميق.